It's worth just putting aside some of the legends around Salieri because
some said the man was Salieri.
Salieri?
Salieri.
I don't believe it.
All the same.
Could it be possible?
Did Salieri do it after all?
Did he murder Amadeus?
They've become so pervasive after the original film of Amadeus, and we've got a new version coming out on streaming in the new year. So his reputation as a human being is about to take yet another hit.
Tell us.
Tell us.
Tell us at once.
Of course, he was a really fantastically accomplished composer. He wrote in 3 languages. He was the most well-regarded writer of Italian operas in Vienna. He had the really bad luck to outlive his own reputation. That much is true, because he was pretty much the same age as Mozart, but rather than dying at 36 in the 1790s, he lived all the way to 1825. So he spent the last 25 years really not able to adapt to the music of later Haydn and Beethoven and Schubert. He lived to see that take over the world. He was incredibly influential as a teacher. It's hard to imagine anybody who had such a roll call of students. Liszt, Beethoven, Schubert, Hummel, and I think really importantly, to dispel the Amadeus myths, Mozart's son, Franz Xavier. It seems inconceivable to me that Constanza would have entrusted her son's musical education to a man that she thought was even seriously hostile to her late husband, let alone to have been in any way implicated in his death. So he had an incredible influence over the next generation. His own operas, even in his lifetime, pretty much disappeared. This one had 26 performances. Not bad, not the best, but not at all bad. But it didn't really outlive him, and it was only in the 1970s that these works came back to the stage. But I think it's really worth hearing them, because we have a voice contemporary with Mozart, who was in many ways a much more authentic, popular composer in Vienna, someone much better known and much better regarded by contemporaries. Mozart's reputation was on the up when he died, but of course it's been much more of a posthumous reputation. It's a very affectionate nod to Mozart. Of course, because of Amadeus, there's a lot of legend and a lot of misinformation about the relationship between the two men.
I don't believe it.
The whole city is talking.
You hear it all over.
What a story.
What a scandal.
What a comedy.
What a tragedy.
Incredible.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
I think it's pretty clear that they were both mutual admirers and rivals, and anyone working in the music business knows that that's perfectly compatible. It's very possible for two people working at the very highest level but still going for the same jobs all the time to hold quite conflicted views of one another. And it's clear that Salieri admired Mozart deeply. We know from Mozart's own letters that Salieri came to the Magic Flute. The Magic Flute borrowed from Salieri's operas. We know that when Salieri became Imperial Kapellmeister in 1788, rather than present one of his own operas, he put in a revival of The Marriage of Figaro. So deep admiration there. And it's The Marriage of Figaro that Salieri is clearly most influenced by here. The overture practically quotes from the Figaro overture. So there's a really nice touch there. So here is Salieri writing a really funny, silly opera buffa on a text that he'd adapted from Shakespeare within 10 years of Mozart's death.
Everything you've heard is true.